I was kidnapped by the Indian army one day before they invaded our palace. I introduced myself as a Sonam Yongda. There was a report from the intelligence section that the Indian army was targeting the palace.
You were not with the Chogyal, right?
I was not in the palace at that time when the Sikkim was invaded.
There were any plans like escaping Chogyal from palace, from Indian army?
3 days before the Indian army invasion, the Sikkim Guard was commanded by late Colonel Gurung, and late Colonel Gurung and myself, we made a plan where we wanted to escape the Chogyal of Sikkim from Gangtok Palace.
You have also been arrested with Bhandari and taken to the Behrampur jail, right?
Yes.
So
British plan was to go to Tibet, invade Tibet. So in order to invade Tibet, they wanted to make a path to Sikkim. So for this they wanted to make Sikkim as their part. So for that, they politically mobilized, and King Tutab Namgyal was put in the jail, and Sikkim was handed over to the Tikadars, 52 landlords. And during that time, the Britishers brought in many Nepalis. So other Chetri, Baun, Nepali, Rai, etc., they were brought in. And they were made to work under the landlords.
can I know how Chogyal treat his staff and the people around him?
He was very generous and practical. During the Third King's time, Chogyal Chadananda time, the Raman Chowsun government became very popular.
Welcome to the podcast, Yapo.
Well, with the kind permission of our Royal Highness Jesse Pempula and my brothers from Denjong's native place, Jongu, I introduce myself as a Yapo Sonam Yongda. Yapo is a title given to me by the monks of Pemyangchi monastery when I had broke the record of the monastery by passing 3 examination of the monastery when I was just age of 9 years. And of course not 9 years. When I did the 3rd examination, I had reached the age of 13 years. Prior to me, no monk had done the 3 examination at that age level. They would certainly take more than 20 years. Even after me, nobody had completed these 3 examination at that age. So I earned this title Yapo at that moment. Right now, I am running a school called Denjong Permachuling Academy, where I provide free education with residential facilities to the children of Sikkim and other states of India. Most of the schools today, even the private schools and the government, they provide only the general education, but our Sikkim, our culture, tradition is very much related with the Buddha's way of life, and Guru Rinpoche, particularly the Guru Rinpoche and Gyalmen Goswami's way of life. That's why in DPC Academy we provide Buddhist education based on Gyao Menthakong Salang and Guru Rinpoche's and whatever the treasures received from the Lari Yingpo cave along with the general educations. So right now we started the school in 1980 and I'm still working on in it. But since 2024 I fell sick and right now I am taking medical facilities here at Gangtok.
Okay. So Yapo, you have mentioned that you have been a monk in Pimayangsi monastery, right? So
Yes.
So if we look through your life, okay, so you have been a monk for like 12 years, you have completed that education and all for the monk, right? So the journey of like from the monk of Pimayangsi to the Sikkim guard, how it was?
Well, when I cleared 3 examination of the monastery at the age of 13 years, then I had the opportunity to study general subjects.
Okay.
And then my uncles were very keen me to study in the school, general school, whereas my late father wanted me to become a monk of the monastery. However, later on the persuasion of my uncle, I had gone through the school and after my college, the Chogyal of Sikkim came on a tour to lay down the foundation of Sanghachuling Monastery in 1968, early 1968. And at that time, I was doing my graduation at St. Joseph College. However, during the Chogyal's visit, I was on leave and the district collector was Mr. P.K. Pradhan. He called me to help in the reception. So I organized a reception at a place called Umchung for the Chogyal and the royal members. So that was the moment for the first time I met His Majesty the Chogyal of Sikkim, and then I had the opportunity to offer him the reception, and later Chogyal very kindly called me to the Dak Bungalow and then directed me to take the then political officer, Mr. Menon and Mrs. Menon, to Pemyangchi Monastery to visit. So accordingly, the Chogyal's directions, I took them to Pemyangchi Monastery, and then after that, we had gone to Sanghachuling Monastery for the foundation stone. And during that time, Chogyal inquired about my future career. So at that time, I had a mind to work under the Chogyal Chimpo. So I told him that I would like to join Sikkim Guards. And after 18 days after that, I got a telegram message from His Majesty, directed me to join the Indian Military Academy. And accordingly, I joined Indian Military Academy and completed the course in 2 years. And after that, I did my attachment with the private GR, and that's how I joined Sikkim Guards in 1971.
Okay, means like for the Sikkim Guard only, there was no training facilities that you should go for the Indian military for the training, you know?
No, I was selected for the Sikkim Guards only, and my intention was not to work in the army, but my intention was to work with His Majesty the Chogyal of Sikkim, who was our king, as well as he was regarded as the incarnation of Chogyal Sikkim Tulku, and we regarded him as our Dharma master too.
You are talking about Chogyal Tashi Namgyal, right?
No, I was talking about the Chogyal Palden Tunduk Namgyal.
Okay. So you have also become the ADC to Chogyal, right, Yapo?
Yes, after joining Sikkim Guards in 1970, 72, I think it was in 1972, and Chogyal attended the uh, coronation of His Majesty the Duke Gyalpo. So during that time, I was directed by the commandant of Sikkim Guards to accompany with the Chogyal as a ADC to him. So I also had the opportunity to attend His Majesty's Duke Gyalpo's coronation. So after that, so I became the ADC to His Majesty the Chogyal of Sikkim.
Okay, so being a ADC, what was your responsibilities and duties?
Well, the Sikkim Guard had two main important functions. Our main function was, number one was the security to Majesty, His Majesty, and the royal family members. And the secondly, our job was for the ceremonial purpose.
Okay.
The defense of Sikkim was, as per the Treaty of 1950, the India had taken the responsibility to defend our sovereignty and independence of Denjong. So we didn't have to worry about that. Our job was to secure the royal members and perform the ceremonial duties.
So you were young at that time. You were doing college, right? So you have been appointed as a Sikkim Guard after doing the military trainings from Indian military and all, and then came back to Sikkim, and you have been appointed as a ADC, right? So what was the changes of life being a normal guy who was studying a college and being a ATC, which is very close to the Chogyal, which works under the Chogyal only, and like you were being the part of the administrative section, right?
Well, and here I did not join for the Indian Army.
Okay.
I was selected for particularly for Sikkim Guards by the Chogyal's government
Okay.
of Sikkim in 1968, and then I was trained in Indian Military Academy, and then after the training, I was attached with the 5th Gorkhas for a mountain warfare
Okay.
to see the mountainous terrain and the warfare system of the mountainous terrain. So, and then I joined Sikkim Guards, and the in this when I I shared like the discipline in the as a monk and soldier. There is not much of difference.
Okay.
It's both sides. As a monk, also you have to be well disciplined, and in army also it was a very well disciplined career, and particularly with His Majesty the Chogyal of Sikkim, who used to offer prayer to Buddha and Bodhisattva every evening. So as a ADC to the Chogyal of Sikkim, I had the given the priorities to arrange His Majesty's offering system to the Sikkimese deities as well as the Buddha and the Bodhisattva, and particularly the Guru Rinpoche. Especially during the Buddhist days, like the 8th of the month, 10th, 15th, 25th, and the 29th. These are observed by our Chogyal for different Bodhisattva and the different deities of Sikkim, and where I had to arrange a special prayer required for them, for this Bodhisattva.
Okay, you work very closely with Chogyal, right? So how would you like to describe your relationship with him?
Well, I had a lot of opportunity to learn from His Majesty, the Chogyal of Sikkim. Particularly, His Majesty used to invite the senior citizens and the elderly people of Sikkim from different parts of Sikkim to get to know about the way of life and the uh, special performances um, conducted by the different ethnic people of Sikkim. So those were the great opportunity to learn from His Majesty.
So can you share any special like incident that had happened when you were with him, like with Chogyal?
I could not understand.
Any special, the incident that had been stored in your memory with Chogyal?
Well, the special is the meeting of His Majesty the Chogyal of Sikkim and the 16 Karmapa
Okay.
of Rumtek. There, those were very interesting and then uh, religious discussions, and also the difference of opinion um, uh, placed by different motives of the people of different countries. Those were quite interesting topic.
So here is Kelsey, but it might sound like disrespecting to Chogyal, but can I know how Chogyal treat his staff and the people around him?
Uh, uh, he was very generous
Okay.
and practical, and during those days, almost all the people, of irrespective of rank and file, they were hardworking, and their ambition was to make Sikkim a uh, part of UNO. And with that motive, the officers and all the people at that time used to work, and they were really dedicated to their respective duties.
So like if I'm comparing as example only, okay. Uh, it is said that like Treaty of Brotherhood was signed in Kabi and the witness till now is like Mount Kanchanjunga, right? So the treaty, this merger and annexation was at the 1975, and you were working very closely with Chogyal and the royal family, and you were at the very high position at that time, ATC with the Chogyal. So can we know the instances of merger and arrest?
Well, in 1975, actually, the there was a report from the intelligence section
Okay.
that when the Indian Army um, was targeting the palace from different um, the position of arms which they have laid out, on arms and position which they have taken, was targeting the palace. But however, the when this was clarified, we were told that the Indian Army carrying out an exercise where if Sikkim was occupied by China, then how it should be recaptured.
Okay.
So that's how the guns and then other arms were pointing towards the palace. This was the news before the Indian Army attacked our palace.
Okay. So
2 days before the Indian Army attacked our palace.
okay, what I have heard is like at the attack when Indian Army attacked to the palace, you were not there, right? You were not at the palace.
Well, I was kidnapped by the Indian Army 1 day before they uh, invaded our palace by the army, by the Indian Army.
Okay. is it the same like the past former chief minister Bandari? You were kidnapped in the same time?
No, no, that was with Bandari. That was in 19 somewhere in 1978 or 79.
Oh, okay, after the
But that
merger.
was a lie.
Okay.
That was the 75
Mm-hmm.
when I was kidnapped by the Indian CRPs.
So you were not with the Chogyal, right?
I was not in the Paris at that time when the Sikkim was invaded on that day.
So you have given you were given with the responsibility of like securing the life of Chogyal, right? Protecting him. So there were any plans like escaping Chogyal from palace from Indian army and all?
Well, uh, the day I was 3 days before the Indian Army invasion,
Mm-hmm.
um, the Sikkim Ghat was commanded by late Colonel Gurung,
Mm-hmm.
and the late Colonel Gurung and myself, we made a plan
Uh-huh.
where we wanted to escape the Chogyal of Sikkim from Gangtok Palace, and then our idea was to deploy all the Sikkim guards around the palace. There was 2 or 3 days before the Indian army invaded Sikkim, which was refused by our late Chogyal.
Okay.
Our Chogyal said that uh, Sikkim and India, it was governed by 1950 root treaty, and as per the treaty, the India cannot uh, invade Sikkim. Indian army cannot invade Sikkim, so they cannot go against the treaty. And at the same time, then Chogyal inquired from Colonel Gurung. He questioned him as well. If Sikkim was invaded by Indian army, probably the Indian army they would choose the Gorkhas to uh, to uh, to attack Sikkim Ghats. So in that case, Chogyal said that the no. Before that, Chogyal said mentioned that all the people have joined the Indian army not to secure India's sovereignty and safeguard the independence of India, but to get a job facility, they come to join the Indian army. Similarly, the Gorkhas from Nepal, they come to join Indian army. So their purpose is to secure job, so that by joining Indian army, the Gorkhas, whatever the salary they receive, they send back home, and the same salary is used by their family members. So as such, if Sikkim Ghat was attacked by the Gorkha regiment, then to kill one Gorkha, that amounts to uh, 4 or 5 people, killing 4 or 5 people Gorkhas at home. So as such, Chogyal said that he being a Buddhist ruler, he would not go for that, opt for that. He is totally against the war, and at the same time, he feel that India will not go against 1950 treaty. As such, Indian army will not attack Sikkim. So with that, our proposal to escape the Chogyal of Sikkim from Sikkim was failed.
Okay.
Rather, it was not accepted or approved by the Chogyal of Sikkim.
Okay, what were your feelings and thought at that time, like with the time of merger when you were arrested by the Indian army?
Um, well, I was just kidnapped, and they blindfolded me,
Okay.
and I didn't know that they took me, and ultimately, after a few days, I came to know that I was kept in an amchi in the police in custody.
Okay. So, if moving forward in your life, okay, you have also been like arrested with Bhandari and taken to the Behrampur jail, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, Why you were arrested at that time?
Well, after that, the of course Mr. Bandari and his political group, Sikkim Parishad, was campaigning for independence of Sikkim,
Okay.
and then I was at that time was in uh, uh, not given any. Sikkim Guard was already disbanded,
Okay.
and then I was not given any appointment in the Sikkim government. Uh, as such, um, in the when Bandari was arrested, I was also arrested,
Okay.
and we were sent to Berhampur jail.
So the interaction between you and Bandari, have you interacted?
Well, he used to come and meet me, talk to me about the about his party
Okay.
and about the independence of Sikkim, and he used to ask me to support him, and then campaign for his party.
Okay. Now Yapo, like this was your life, okay? Now you are the book of like history of for Sikkim, right? So now let's just travel back from the past, right? Yapo, like discussing about the history of Sikkim. Okay. So firstly, can we know about like Pema Yangsi monastery la? The importance.
The Pema monastery, it was the premier monastery of Sikkim, and the all the national functions and important ceremony of our Sikkim or Denjong
Okay.
was conducted by the monks of Pema monastery. Uh, Especially the national day, which was celebrated in the month of 7th as per the Buddhist calendar. Of course, this celebration was conducted in all the monasteries of Sikkim, and particularly in Gangtok, Chogyal monastery, where the monks from they used to come and celebrate this Palapsol. And similarly, during the 10th the month of the Buddhist calendar, they used to conduct the Kaje ceremony at the Chogyal Royal, and similarly during the first month of the Buddhist calendar, they used to celebrate the Gonsar at Chogyal monastery.
Okay. So, Yapo, like the influence of Pema Yangsi to the Sikkimese culture, is it faded now compared to past?
Well, right now I don't know how these ceremonies are being conducted. I have not been there, but when Pema monastery was celebrating this, I myself attended the ceremony several times,
Okay.
and when I was in Sikkim Guards, I witnessed those ceremonies, which were conducted very nicely, and then as per the our custom and traditions.
Okay. Yapo, like talking about the Pema Yangsi, okay, as you have mentioned the meetings between Karma Appa and Chogyal, right? So, can we know about the Karma Appa and this Sharma Appa? Shamarpa.
Well, Karmapa, the 16th Karmapa, is particularly he was um, very friendly with our late Chogyal,
Okay.
because when His Holiness Karmapa fled from Tibet, he was about to settle down in Bhutan, Bumthang.
Okay.
However, Sikkim being a Bayul Damajong, which was recognized by the fourth hidden country of the world by Lotus Mount Buddha. So, Karmapa had chosen instead of Bhutan, he should come and settle down here in Bayul Damajong. So accordingly, the Chogyal of Sikkim, Chogyal Tashi Namgyal, had offered the land at Rumtek and also the other facilities to build the monastery and other things. So that's why His Holiness had come and established himself in Rumtek. And during that time, His Holiness Karmapa had 4 incarnations after him. So out of 4 incarnations, Shama Rinpoche was the next to Karmapa.
Okay.
And then after Shamarpa, the Kontul, and after Kontul, Gyaltsap, and no, after Kontul, Sidhu, after Sidhu, the Gyaltsap. That was the order of marriage as per your Karmapa.
Okay. Yeah, let's talk about like the beginning of like this Denjong, okay? How it got the name Denjong and all. So I have got to know from Gyaltse only that there was a meeting of this Guru Padma Sambhava, Lotus Ban Buddha and Punu Minsalong, right? So can we know about this in detail?
Well, in 800 AD, though Lotus born Buddha was from Urgen Kingdom, he had come to India to Nalanda University. And during his visit to Nalanda University, he found the books written by 3 prominent Buddhas.
Okay.
Khorwajik Vesung Sertup, not 3, 4 prominent Buddhas. Khorwajik, Vesung Sertup, and Shakyamuni Buddha. And those books were very important for the people to understand. And these books were described about the not only for the people but for the all the sentient beings of the 6 different realms.
Okay.
However, Lotus born Buddha came to know through his religious power that if those books were left in Nalanda University, in future there would be a war, and during those war, all the books would be destroyed. As such, the Lotus born Buddha invited the Dharmapalas. Dharmapalas mean the deities who could protect the Dharma or the teaching books.
Okay.
So he handed over those books to the Dharmapalas. And during that time, in Tibet, King Tisshu Dyuchen was busy in constructing Samye monastery. So during the course of construction, there were a lot of problems faced by King Tisshu Dyuchen in Tibet.
Okay.
Because sometime there was a disagreement among the workers, and the workers, they fought and killed each other, and sometime even the constructions parts of the monastery was destroyed by earthquake, and it was big problem at that time. And to avoid the problem, King Tisshu invited the astrologers, and the astrologers, through their calculation, given the idea to the king that in south of Tibet, in India, there is one sage who should be invited to Tibet to subdue all these duties.
Okay.
So accordingly, delegation was sent to invite, and the Guru Rinpoche was on way to visit Tibet. So during that time, he went to Tibet through Bayul Damajong.
Okay.
At that time, Damajong name was not there. It was called Moyalang.
Okay. Okay.
So when he was on way to Tibet through Moyalyang, the Jawa Thekong Salang was the ruler of this country.
Okay.
And then at the same time, Jawa Men Thekong Salang was a bodhisattva,
Okay.
according to the monks of Pemyangchi monastery. And the Jawa Men Thekong Salang could recognize the lotus born Buddha, and he welcomed him and took him around the holy places of Sikkim, and particularly to Hariningpu cave. So when Guru Rinpoche and Jawa Men Thekong Salang visited Hariningpu cave, they found the treasures kept over there.
Okay.
And at that time, Guru Rinpoche said that it was too early to publish that treasures, and because the people of that time could not understand the meaning of the treasure, so Guru Rinpoche suggested that it should be kept back. So accordingly, Guru Rinpoche and Jawa Men Thekong Salang kept the treasures back at Lari Yingpo with a prayer, and then prayer and dedication that in future there should be a treasure finder incarnation should take place in the world, should be born in the world, and come and receive these treasures to benefit the sentient beings of the 6 different realms.
Okay.
So with this prayer, they kept the treasures back. During that time, the Lotus Mount Buddha found many other treasures hidden in all the hills, cliff, and the lakes, rivers of this Moyalang land. So, and that's why Guru Rinpoche gave the name of this country as Bayul Damajong. Bayul Damajong means Bayul is the hidden country. Devanjong means the full of treasures and fruits and flowers.
Okay.
So he found Bayul Damajong as the most important hidden country for the world and the people of the world.
Okay.
And he requested, rather he told Jawa Men Thekong Salang to live and to stay alive without changing his body till the time the incarnation comes to receive the treasure at Hariningpu cave.
Okay.
So, and then he named the Moyal Nang as the Bayal Damajong, and Jawa Men Thekong Salang as the Chokidar, or the as a Neda. Neda means the guard of the country,
Okay.
and Kanchen Junga as the Jita, or the Jita Jitapu, land deity,
Okay.
or the Kanchen Junga, Neda, Jita, and Mentakon Salang as the Neda.
Okay.
Then Guru Rinpoche requested Jawa Men Thekong Salang to live alive until the treasure finder comes. That's how Jawa Men Thekong Salang lived for 800 years, from 880 to till the time Jawal Kachin Chimpu was born in Kham Kongbu, and then came to visit Denjong in late 1600. So till that time, Jawa Men Thekong Salang stayed here. So Kachin Chimpu was born in Kham Kongbu,
Okay.
and he in somewhere in middle 16th century,
Okay.
he was born in the Kongbu royal family, and he was the youngest son of the uh, Kongu, uh, Kongu king, and it was a cold winter during his birth.
Okay.
And when he was born, uh, it was it was snowing outside,
Okay.
and then when he was born, land up on the ground. And the attendants had said that he was smiling,
Okay.
but yes,
Yeah.
but when they wanted to cover him with a cloth, then he started crying.
Okay.
So in the case of Hachanamka Jimi, when he was without any cloth, then he was happy, and he always smiles.
Okay.
But the moment he was rolled up in a cloth, then he cried.
Okay.
He was all those sort of. So he was without any cloth. So like that he grew up, and when he was started speaking after 2 years, the Queen Mother asked him why he was not wearing cloth. At that time, he showed the mother that his cloth was like skin,
Okay.
like this. This is my this cloth. I don't require anything more than this. So like that, Hachinamka Jimi grew up his childhood till up to 7 years, and without any cloth. At the age of 7 years, he was he vanished from the palace,
Okay.
and nobody knew where he had gone. So like that, he disappeared, and then he went to contact the other holy masters. And at the age of 21 years, he had already got the enlightenment, and then he did not return back to the palace. Rather, he stayed in a cremation ground
Okay.
where he used to make prayer for the diseased people there. So during that time, when he was at the age of 21 years, the lotus-born Buddha himself appeared to him and directed him that he should leave Kongbu through Tibet, and south of Tibet he should go to a place called Bayu Damajong, which was a hidden country. And Guru Rimshi told him that Tibet would any moment be taken over by China.
Okay.
So before China takes over Tibet, then he should, Hachin Chimbu should
Move to.
set up monasteries and receive the important treasures from Bail Damajong.
Okay.
So accordingly, he left Kongbu, and then he came to Damajong.
Okay.
So here in Damajong, Jawa Mentagong Sanang was waiting for him, and Jawa Mentagong Sanang used to live in a cave called Tekongrong.
Okay.
Uh,
Pambrong.
Not Pambrong,
Okay.
Taktongrong.
Tatumurong. Okay.
The Taktongrong is near the Pamrong waterfall.
Okay.
It's not the exactly Pamrong, it's near to the Pamrong waterfall.
Okay.
In Taktongrong there's a cave.
Mm-hmm.
And Jawa Mentang Musala used to live there. But when Hachin Chipo was not available, then he left Taktongrong and started traveling towards the mountain Kanchesanga side, thinking that at any moment Hachinam Kajimi would come there.
Okay.
So when he was traveling, there is a place called Mendapcha. It is near the Zongri. Before reaching Zongri, it was near to it. So at Mendapcha, Jawa Latin Chimpu met Jawa Tekong Salang.
Okay.
And then Jawa Tekong Salang invited him, Jawa Latin Chimpu, and took him to his cave, Taktongrong.
Okay.
So, like that, there's a lot of incidents and events occurred by these two people.
Okay.
In fact, one of the important incident was one day both of them were reciting this residential tax, which was received by Tatsinamka Jimmy from Harinpo cave at Tapungrong cave. So when you were this prayer was being conducted there by two of them, then the Santo Peri, the model of the celestial being, was appeared in front of them, which was copied by Jawarachinam Kajimi in writing, how it was appeared in front of them. Exactly, it was written down, and later the same model was built at Pamyangchi monastery by an incarnation called Rinkyu Rinpoche. So like this, Jawa Mentagong Salam and Guru Rinpoche, both of them, rather, both of them are very closely related to Bail Damajong. In fact, the birth of Jawarachi Chimpu was totally dedicated by Lotus Born Buddha and Jawa Mentagong Salam. Similarly, the latest after Jawarachi Chimpu, we call it Chakta Rinpoche. And the Chakta Rinpoche was another incarnation who was from the eastern Tibet. He was born and being brought up during that time only. He left Tibet and then he came and settled down at Gangyap near Silan Monastery. And the Chakta Rinpoche was also used to live naked, and there are a lot of incidents had occurred during his time, and rather a lot of miracles were performed by him. And as per the findings and research of some scholars, Chakta Rinpoche was the incarnation of Lachinaamka Jimi also. The Chakta Rinpoche passed away somewhere in 1960s.
So I'm just a little bit confused. I just want to know about that. Guru Padma Sambhava, he came to Tibet for building this, helping in building that Sakya monastery, right? So after that building that monastery, he left from Tibet or he settled there only?
No, he on way to Tibet he met Jawar Mentagong Salam and done that. And all this with Mentagong Salam he went to Harinipu cave, saw the treasure and kept it back, and with the prayer that again the reincarnation should appear. And after that gave the name of the Bail Damajong, Sikkim's name as Bail Damajong. Then requested the Jawa Mentagong Salam to be the Neda of this place and the Kanchi Jama as the Jikta. Then he proceeded he had gone to Tibet on to entertain the King Tishun Division's request.
So he returned from Tibet or settled there?
Yeah. After that, he came back and again he had gone. Now, there's another history, that which was like while Guru Rinpoche, actually when he was invited, he subsided the problem faced by the Kishin Tuzin to build the Samya monastery. That problem was he subsided. And at that time only he thought that the Buddha's teaching should be spread in Tibet. He could see that the war which were going to occur in in India. Not,
So Yapo, the thing is, I am very much like interested to know how this incarnation works. Okay, like I have heard that like our Gyaltse is also the incarnation of Tichu Rinpoche, right?
yes.
So how this works? How you know that he is the incarnation of these and these?
Well, the qualified monks,
Mm-hmm.
um, qualified monks through different signals and through different means of recognitions,
Mm-hmm.
they come to know the birth of incarnations of different Rinpoches and qualified
Mm-hmm.
um, masters.
Okay.
So accordingly, the ordinary practitioners
Mm-hmm.
like mm, the learners, the practitioners,
Mm-hmm.
and the uh, people who have not uh, um, qualified or um, uh, who are not, I won't say enlightened,
Mm-hmm.
uh, who are not confident
Okay.
about the practice which they are carrying out.
Mm-hmm.
They cannot recognized. But the people who are uh, very much confident
Mm-hmm.
about their practices,
Mm-hmm.
and, they themselves would have see the things
Okay.
uh, all by alone
Mm-hmm.
in darkness
Mm-hmm.
as well as in the presence of other people,
Mm-hmm.
and they can do this recognition.
Okay. So, is there any like, can we take the example of like Gyaltse, that the rituals and how he was known that he was a Rinpoche?
Well, the our present Crown Prince recognition,
Mm-hmm.
this was conducted, it was done by His Holiness Denjong Rinpoche.
Okay.
And Denjong Rinpoche, as far as I know,
Mm-hmm.
um, he was a well qualified
Okay.
masters
Mm-hmm.
during my time,
Okay.
and particularly I have the experience of his uh, the miracles performed by him, and also the predictions made by him,
Okay.
uh, particularly about Denjong
Mm-hmm.
during our life.
Okay.
And he was the one who recognized our present Crown Prince as the reincarnation of the Tulsi Rinpoche. Tulsi Rinpoche, uh, who was in Denjong
Mm-hmm.
somewhere in 19, uh, I think 50s, 40s or 50s,
Okay.
and I met His Holiness Tulsi Rinpoche, our Crown Prince previous incarnation,
Mm-hmm.
when he was meditating at Hungri Monastery.
Okay.
At that time, I was studying in class 7.
Mm-hmm.
I remember engaging school,
Okay.
and I ran away from school,
Mm-hmm.
particularly to meet him.
Okay.
And I had a very quiet, uh, I mean, individual, personal meeting with him,
Okay.
who entertained me
Mm-hmm.
as a tea
Mm-hmm.
and also nice talk. And I was also given a tips by him
Okay.
to buy some sweets and biscuits,
Mm-hmm.
and that which I remember.
Okay.
The the uh, the recognition of the our present Crown Prince by Denjong Rinpoche
Mm-hmm.
was miraculously done by His Holiness Denjong Rinpoche.
Okay.
It was in 1972. I think it was in 72. Yeah, it was in 72. The Pemyangchi monastery was renovated by our late Chogyal Chimpo in 1960s, and in 1972 the inauguration prayer was conducted in Pemyangchi, and this inauguration prayer was led by His Holiness Denjong Rinpoche. So at that time, Denjong Rinpoche, late Denjong Rinpoche, was invited by the monks of Pemyangchi, and late Dadu Rinpoche was there. Lachung Dungse was quite young, and Lachen Rinpoche was also there. They were very young Tulkus, and Khechu Dorjilobe, Dungse Rinpoches, they were there. And during the inauguration time, His Majesty the Chogyal of Sikkim and the Queen of Sikkim, then the royal members, they were invited. So I was detailed as the escort commander.
Okay.
So at that time, so we were all were in Pemyangchi, Dagbanglo.
Okay.
So the day the inauguration prayer was conducted. So at that time, His Holiness Denjong Rinpoche told the monks to arrange one separate seat, empty seat. And Denjong Rinpoche did not tell why the seat was required, separate seat was required. So accordingly, his order, the monks, they have made a separate special throne, separate one throne. So at that time, our present crown prince was very small. He was, I think, just 3 years of age.
Okay.
And then he was sitting on the Her Majesty's lap. So during the ceremony, the king and the queen, they were there and sitting, and our crown prince was sitting on the lap of Gyalmo. So the inauguration prayer was held, and after the inauguration prayer, then Kyabji Denjong Rinpoche himself got up and then took away the baby from the Gyalmo's lap. He took it and then placed on the throne.
Okay.
And then he prostrated to him. And then he declared that he is the reincarnation of the Tashi Rinpoche. So as a child, as a baby, he sat very nicely and smiling with smiling face and something like that. But then Her Majesty Gyalmo was a bit shocked, and then she had a very unpleasant argument with our Chogyal.
Okay.
And however, the Chogyal was very, what do you say, very soft, and then he tried to explain her the Buddhist rituals, how it was sacredly done.
Okay.
Whereas Gyalmo was just claiming that she, being the mother of the child, at least she should be told, she should be informed. Not as a Gyalmo, even as an ordinary lady, that she should be informed about her child, which the Denjong Rinpoche did not do it.
Okay.
So, but then Chogyal Chimpo had explained her very softly that in order to keep the things to save it from very undesirable things, they maintain the secrecy and they don't disclose it.
Okay.
So, like that, a lot of controversy had taken place there.
Okay. So Yapo, now let's talk about like this Treaty of Brotherhood. So is it before the meeting of Punu Lachin Chimpo? this Padmasambhava and Mensalong, is it before the meeting of both of them, or like it was after that the Treaty of Brotherhood was signed between Bhutia and Lepcha?
Which entity?
Brotherhood, blood brotherhood.
Oh, blood brotherhood was that's much after that.
Okay, after meeting.
After the meeting, yes.
Okay.
This was the meeting of the Lotus Born Buddha and Jawamen Thagung Salam. It was in 800 AD.
Okay.
Whereas this blood brotherhood, so it could be somewhere in 10th century, 10th hundred, or 11th century.
So Yapo, can you put a light on that Treaty of Brotherhood, how it was signed, and like how it had been between the two different kind of people who had been living in the Tibet and living in the forest of Denjong, right, Sikkim. So how they met and like did a Treaty of Brotherhood?
I mean, meeting of the Kibumsa and the Tekong Nyokong, Tekong Tek and Yokongal. Well, Chuge Kibumsa, should I start from who was Kibumsa or?
Like, from that, I guess it would be good.
Well, mm, so we have to talk about the birth of Guru Rinpoche.
Okay, it started from that time.
Yes,
Okay.
because it goes back to that spirit.
Okay.
See, Shakyamuni Buddha, or say the Crown Prince Siddhartha, after becoming the Buddha, he conducted his teachings to many people in India and outside India too. So, but then Shakyamuni Buddha could not deliver all the teachings what he had discovered.
Okay.
He could only teach about the simple rules and simple laws and rules of the Dharma and practice. But he could not go towards the Vajrayana side, Mantrayana, and the Tantrayana.
Okay.
Though he is a master of Hinayana, Mahayana, Mantrayana, Tantrayana. So Tantrayana is the highest.
Okay.
But during his time, most of the time he spent in the research work only.
Okay.
So as a result, he could not teach all this.
Okay.
Only the part of it he had delivered. So when he was about to enter the nirvana,
Okay.
or about to pass away, rather 6 months before his passing away, he had conducted his teachings, last teachings, to the disciples. So during that period, that was 6 months before he passed away, on that day he declared that that was his last teachings. So when he mentioned that was his last teachings, he will be teaching for the last time to the disciples. Then one of the disciples got up and asked him why he mentioned that was his last teachings. So at that time he said that he would be entering into nirvana, and then he would be passing away after 6 months.
Okay.
And he mentioned to them that he would like to show how the people are impermanent.
Okay.
Regarding the permanency and impermanence, he would like to show it to the people. So at that time, some of the disciples started crying.
Okay.
So he told them that, look, I had already in his teachings, he had mentioned about the permanence and impermanence. Then why you are crying? So one of the disciples said that, well, uh, after him, if the Buddha passes away, who would lead
Okay.
like him? Who would conduct the or the take care of the students or the disciples like Buddha himself? Who would do that? Who will be there? So at that time he said, don't worry. 12 years after his passing away, there would be a person appeared in the north west no
Northwest.
northwest of Udgen Kingdom, uh, and he would introduce the Mayana teachings. So at that time he told them that during that time you all should go and receive the teachings from him.
Okay.
So
Keep on. Lay up.
this was the last
Teachings.
the word he had said, no, that after 12 years after that was. So exactly 12 years after his passing away, the in the Dhanakosha lake,
Okay.
the
Kushinagar.
in Dhanakosha lake, which was in Uzbekistan,
Okay.
according to the latest discovery. And Uzbekistan is the on the north of Afghanistan. So in the Dhanakosha lake, there was a lotus flower, and out of the lotus flower, young 8 years boy appeared,
Okay.
and who was guarded by many angels.
Okay.
So this was at that time the King Endabuduhi was ruling Urgen Kingdom. So during those days, the present Afghanistan and the small kingdoms which were located north of Afghanistan were called Urgen Kingdom. So it was ruled by the king called Endabudahi. So, but the king did not have any children.
Okay.
With the hope of getting a children, he married many queens,
Okay.
but no children. So at last he came to know about the appearance of a boy on a lotus flower in the Dhanakosha lake. So the king went there, offered prayer, and with a lots of prayer, they ultimately the the lotus flower came to the shore, and he took the boy to his palace,
Okay.
and he wanted the lotus born Buddha, that boy, to become his successor.
Okay.
and and he stayed there. All the ministers, public people, they expected him to become the future ruler.
Okay.
But after attaining 18 years of age, the lotus bound Buddha told the king and the other ministers that he would like to leave the palace, and he would leave the palace, and he told them that no, he is not meant for only for one kingdom, but he had to take care of all the sentient beings of the six different realms, including the animals and the insects and the mammals of this ocean, etc. Uh, at that time, some of the ministers and the people agitated, and they confronted to him, saying that they expected him to become the future ruler, but now how could he would leave them without the king, without the future king. So then he said that now you don't worry. He would make a prayer or the blessing, he would give a blessing, and with these blessings, 7 queens will be conceived after some time, and they will give birth to 7 sons.
Okay.
So, and he told them that he would exactly return after 1 year.
Okay.
And he said that if these 7 queens don't get conceived, then he would come and continue as a ruler.
Okay.
Otherwise, so out of the 7 princes, they can choose any one of them to become the future ruler. So with this word, King Lotus Bound Buddha left the palace. He had gone and he met his masters and other places, did meditation, and exactly after 1 year he returned back. But after his leaving, whatever he had blessed, accordingly, the 7 queen got conceived and they gave birth to 7 princes.
Okay.
So, the in 10 months, no? So exactly after 1 year he returned back. So when he came back, all the people were very happy and they really pay him respect and regarded him as a Dharma Guru. And they found him very different, special person because he had predicted and all of them got a 7 prince. So then after that, Lotus Bound Buddha, he left the kingdom and he took his own work. And out of these 7 sons of 7 brothers, the youngest brother's name was Endabuduyi.
Okay.
King Indrabody, and Endabuduyi.
Okay.
So Endabuduyi, he left the kingdom and he started traveling towards India and from India towards the Southwest Asia.
Okay.
From Southwest Asia, he climbed up to China. From China he came to Khmer kingdom. So the Minyak province was ruled by the Minyak king at that time. Now, Endabuduhi, it was mentioned that wherever he goes, he had a quality to attract people.
Okay.
The moment he talks something, and he talks very sensible already.
Okay.
Whatever the people need, etc., he could give them idea, solutions, and it comes practically true.
Okay.
Then that way, wherever he goes, lots of people used to collect around him. So ultimately, this news is spread to the Mia king.
Okay.
So Mia king had only one queen, one daughter, one princess only, no prince.
Okay.
So when he heard about the Endabuduhi, then he called him to the palace, and the Mia king appointed him as a gardener
Okay.
to look after the flower garden. So within 3 months, Endabuduhi could show one plant flower with 5 different colors.
Okay.
So which was very surprising. And so that way he could show the different types of designs and flower garden setting ups, etc. So like that, king was very happy, and people were also very happy to see his performance, and he was promoted.
Okay.
And after that, he became a secretary. Then ultimately, king decided to adopt him
Okay.
as a son-in-law.
Okay.
So, and he was married to the princess and became the Indrabudu. He became the future ruler of Mia kingdom. So, like that, and this dynasty continued till up to the 25th
Okay.
rule
Generation.
generation.
Okay.
So, after 25th, the Kebumsa was born as the youngest prince, and again Kebumsa left the palace. He came to Lhasa, Tibet, and ultimately, at that time, during that time, Tibet was ruled by the Sakya dynasty.
Sakya dynasty.
And the Kebumsa, so-called Kebumsa, he had come to the young prince, came to the Sakya dynasty. So during that time, the Sakya king was busy in constructing a new palace.
Okay.
So inside the new palace site, there was a well,
Well. Okay.
and that well was a small pond. And this pond was connected with the Nagalok. So
Okay.
Naglok.
Okay.
And through the Nag, they had sent 4 pillars.
Okay.
And those pillars were very heavy. And when the young prince from Kamiya arrived there, the even the 1 lakh of people of 100,000, could not lift up that pillar.
Okay.
So there are 2 versions. Some of the monks told me that he alone erect those pillars, took out from the pond and erected. And some masters, they told me that no, not alone, but he gave the idea how to pick up that pillar from the pond and then erect it.
Okay.
So there are 2 versions I heard, one by Vayavansara or one. However, those 4 pillars were erected by him, whether by alone or with his idea.
Okay.
So he was, after erecting the pillar, he was given the title of Kebumsa. That means a person having the energy of 100,000 people.
Okay.
So he earned this title and got married with the Sakya princess,
Okay.
and he became the Sakya ruler.
Okay.
Now, while he was ruling the Sakya with the princess, they had no children. So now Kebumsa was very much worried
Okay.
about the children. So like that, they were trying to have a child, which was not there. And then one day, Kebumsa was very tired, and it's mentioned that he was lying on a bed in the daytime. Just lying on a bed, and trying to just recollecting how to get a child.
Okay.
Just planning and thinking how to get a child. So while thinking like that, he went half asleep that day.
Okay.
One half asleep, the one monk appeared from the sky,
Okay.
and he came and right on the at his bedside, and told him that, look, you should not worry. From here you should travel towards the south side, and in the southern side there is a one hidden land, and that hidden land is ruled by one elderly couple. So these 2 couple, they can give a blessing for a child,
Okay.
but they cannot deliver themselves a child, but they can give orders to them
Okay.
to child. So when he received this dream kind of thing, he was half asleep already.
Okay.
And then that monk disappeared. And he could not say it was a dream or actual real.
Like.
It was just half sleep, because his eyes were open, but then still he was not found. But he heard it clearly. Then he called the good astrologers of Tibet.
Okay.
7 of them he had collected and made them to sit in the different places. Then they calculated what time he saw the dream and half sleep like that, and everybody showed the same answer. He said that he should travel to south, and then exactly it is there. Then you can get the blessings of the children. So on the advice of these astrologers and the monk he had seen, then he brought a delegation, he and himself, he came down.
Okay.
So that time he met Jawa Thekong Salan, Thekong Tek and Nyokongal. So and they were, I believe they were cultivating, and then in the cultivation, he saw those elderly couple, and asked them about the leader of their country, where he was sitting, and his house, and they showed him, is there, he is up there.
Okay.
But ultimately these 2 were the one. So ultimately they met him. So after meeting him, and they told him that he would get children, But then the couple Jawatekong Tegan Yakongal told Kebumsa that once you get children, birth to the children, you will get 3 children. Out of 3 children, you have to choose which one is the right one. And that children you should send it to Denjong
Okay.
in future. But now, Kebumsa, when he came down from Tibet to Sikkim, Denjong, he traveled through through Nala, through this reincarnation.
Okay.
And he did not see any flat land
Okay.
where it could be cultivated nicely, He saw all the rock and then the Nala, etc., no flat land at all. So he was worried if he sends his son, what he would do
Okay.
in such a place where he cannot grow anything. He saw only forest and the rock and then uneven places only. So he said that no, he don't want to send any children, but he should be given a blessing.
Okay.
But then Thekong Tegan Yogong said, no, I would give you a blessing, but you should send the one son to come here and then rule it.
Okay.
So ultimately he said he could not send. So Thekong Tegan Yogong refused to give him the blessing.
Okay.
Then he could not say no. Then at the last, then he agreed that he would send one son.
Okay.
So he went back after receiving the blessing. So that was the time the Thekong Tegan Yogong offered prayer to the deities of Beil Damajong. And with the offering of the prayer to the Damajong, the deities of Damajong given the blessing to bear children. So the Panlapsol, the beginning of Panlapsol starts from there.
Okay.
So he went back. After returning back to Tibet, he got 3 sons.
Okay.
So these 3 sons, he again brought them back. And when he was bringing those children back to Sikkim, so the Jawa Thekong Tegan Yogong, he didn't come back, but they knew that he had already got 3 children.
Okay.
So they were traveling up. So from Kabi Lungchok, if you go up, I have never been there. It says that there's a place called Ta Chandar.
Okay.
Ta Chandar means there's a cliff,
Okay.
beer. So they met ultimately there.
Okay.
From Tibet,
And-
Kebumsa and children with his wife, the delegation had come. And from here, Jawa Thekong and Nyokong went up and they met at Ta Chandar. And there they celebrated the Panlapsa again.
Okay.
Thanksgiving ceremony to the deities. And then to these 3 children, Jawa Thekong Te Nyokong named them as a Trakche Tarpesum. Trakche Tarpesum means the 3 brothers of the Ta Chandar.
Okay.
Because the cliff's name is the Ta Chandar. So Pesum means 3 brothers.
Okay.
So these three brothers, they were called Kyeurap, Lamarap and Mipenrap. So Mipenrap gave birth to 4 sons.
Okay.
And after 4 sons, the Shenga, Chogyal Apa, so like that, the king of Sikkim comes like that. And then on the Kyeurap, the eldest brother Kyeurap, what the Bhutanese are today,
Okay.
so they are the offshoots of the Kyeurap.
Okay.
The Langmaraps were the present other Bhotias of Sikkim.
Okay.
So that's how the narration begins.
Okay. So, Yapu, we were talking about the treaty that was signed between Kebumsa and the Thekong Tegan Yogong, right? So now, the thing is now the people living at that area also don't know the proper nomenclature, okay? That somewhere I have heard that the name of Kabi Lungchok is not Kabi, it is Kabi Lungchok, I guess, Yapo. So if you could kindly put a light on that, it would be great for us.
Well, whatever I have learned from my elderly monks of Pemyangchi, and they pronounced, I don't know how far their pronunciation is correct, but what I heard from them is Kabi, Kabi Lungchok only, not more than that, Kabi Lungchok.
Okay.
However, the name of Sikkim and Suyim,
Okay.
and there's a Suyim and Sikkim and Denjong, and there is a differences.
Okay. Now let's talk about like Yapo. It is believed that like first inhabitant was Lepcha, and then Bhutia, and like Chong, right, Yapo?
Yes.
So can you tell how these people came to Sikkim and like they settled over here? These Chong people, Bhutia and Lepcha, I guess that had been already can be understood through the Treaty of Brotherhood. How they settled here?
Bhutia also very the Bhutias were very few. The real Bhutias.
Right.
However, when Ratsunamka Jimi and other three monks came to Sikkim, along with them, some Tibetans had also come. The Bhutias, as per the treaty of Nanjawat Nyukongal, who were the Bhutias who were the offshoots of the Dakchetar Peninsula, out of Dakchetar Peninsula. Keurap had gone to, didn't come here, they had gone to Bhutan. Langmarap and Miperap, they were very few. But many more Tibetans had come and became also Bhutias and original of Sikkim. Those who had come with Naja Cheji, I think up to 18th century, the Tibetans and Bhutanese also, the Tibetan also, they became Bhutia and then the native people of Sikkim.
Okay.
And later they got Sikkim subjects.
Okay. So you were talking about these Chong
But the
people?
Chong,
Yeah.
Chongs were actually, Chongs were those people, you know that the King Chisung Gyuchen of Tibet, not Chisung Gyuchen, Songchen Gampo of Tibet,
Okay.
he married two queens, one from China, it's called Gyaza, other one from Nepal, called Bheza.
Okay.
And then regarding Bheza, it's also written down in the Nepalese history. They call it Birkuti Rani.
Birkuti Rani.
You remember exactly. So Birkuti Rani was married by King Chisung Gyuchen. When the marriage took place between Nepal and Tibet, so at that time, many people from Nepal and who were the attendants to the queen or the princess who became later the queen of Tibet, they were the attendants. And at that time, some people from Limbuana who were attendants to the Birkuti Rani, they had also accompanied with the princess and went to Tibet. Now, after reaching Tibet, after the marriage, the many marriage party who had gone, many of them returned back to Nepal, and some of them they stayed back in Tibet. So the king of Tibet, Songchen Gampo, what he had done was, those who came back to Nepal, they were given a good presents, nice presents they were given, and those people who wanted to settle down in Tibet, they were given a nice land for cultivation. So in Tibet, the Chang River, along the bank of Chang River, I was told that that area was good for cultivation. So the Limbuana people who had gone with the Birkuti Rani and who wanted to settle down Tibet, they were given the land near the Tsang Valley.
Okay.
And they stayed in the Tsang Valley, and later on that Tsang became the Chong.
Okay.
And they got married with the Tibetan people, and the many generations they spent there. And later, when Lachunamka Chime came
Okay.
from Kongbu, he was coming towards Tibet, Sikkim. So first he had wanted to meet the Dalai Lama,
Dalai Lama. Okay.
and Lachunamka Chime was naked, except the cigarette part was covered with a tiger skin. Just all he had naked, and then just for a skull in one hand, and in one and the thigh bone to blow Kani. And he came, and then he wanted to go to meet the Dalai Lama. The guards didn't allow him, since he was naked and then, barefooted, ugly looking person. They didn't allow him. So he requested the guard if he was allowed to sit for a moment. And he was allowed to sit. He sat on the ground on a lotus position and just prayed. The whole Lhasa area started shaking.
Okay.
Traveling. So when this was happened, guards were shocked. So at that time, Dalai Lama also felt the shaking of the Lhasa, and he had also sent a messenger that what was happening. So the guard told them there was somebody like that. So Dalai Lama ordered them to send him up.
Okay.
So Lhasa Chimpo went up. The moment he met Dalai Lama in his room, he cupped her.
Okay.
He cupped and took out the cup and told Dalai Lama to give a paper, newspaper, any paper, hold it in the paper. He cupped and he spit on the paper and told him to roll it up. So he told Dalai Lama, don't leave this alone. Keep it always with yourself. One day it will be useful to you.
Okay.
So don't keep it separately, keep it in us. So Dalai Lama put on that kara, that belt.
Okay.
Inside that, make a knot and then put it there. And after that, he back leaped from Dalai Lama. So Dalai Lama offered him a nice place to stay in one room, VIP room. He refused that. He refused to stay. He said he was going and he left it. And he came and stayed in that Chang village.
Okay.
Now from there, he offered prayer to the deities of Denjong. So deities didn't allow him.
Okay.
So when he was not allowed, then he did know what to do. Then he spent the time there only. He kept on offering prayers. Every day he is offering prayers to please them. But none of the deities allowed him to come.
Okay.
So like that, he stayed there for 1.5 years or so in that Chang village. Now, he became very popular in that Chang village because if someone falls sick, he knew how to relieve him. And if somebody dies, a dying person also, he could relieve them, make them alive. So like that, he was very popular in that area. So after 1.5 years, then he, in his meditation, he found that deities have agreed, and then they allowed him to come. So he was living that Chang village. He was going. So when he was leaving, then the people of the area also said that they would like to come with him.
Okay.
So they traveled with him. They came along. So that's how the Chong.
Okay.
Chongs are those.
So the people, these Chongs in Limbu are different.
Limbus were those. The second king of Sikkim was married to Limbuana princess.
Okay.
Our second Gyalmo was, the queen was from Limbuana. Limbuana's king's name was Yongyang.
Yeah.
Yongyang's daughter's name was Subiangma.
Okay.
So Subiangma was our
Second
Galmo, Her Majesty Subiangma. So when this marriage took place, our second king and the Queen Subiangma, so that time many Limbus had come. But these Limbus had also become a Chong
Okay.
from Limbuana.
Okay.
But later, when this during British India period, during British India period, when the Darjeeling district, like from Jatitilia, from Siliguri and beyond, from Pulbagan and this side, it was a part of Sikkim.
Okay.
But due to the malaria, many British soldiers were died, So when the malaria broke out, the British requested the King of Sikkim and the government of Sikkim that due to that, many people are dying. So in order to save the people, they should be given a hill station.
Okay.
So Darjeeling district. So it was given. So after that, the British, they encouraged the Nepalese people to settle down.
Okay.
And they opened up the tea garden. And in the tea garden, all the tea gardeners were the Nepalese people. They brought it from Nepal. And in somehow, British plan was to go to Tibet,
Okay.
invade Tibet. So in order to invade Tibet, they wanted to make a path through Sikkim.
Okay.
So for this Sikkim, they wanted to make Sikkim as their part. So for that, they politically mobilized, and the King Thutab Namgyal was put in the jail,
Okay.
and Sikkim was handed over to the Tikadars,
Okay.
52 landlords. 52 landlords, and Sikkim was divided into 52 provinces, and each province was ruled by a landlord.
Okay.
So there were 52 landlords and 52 provinces.
Okay.
And during that time, the Britishers brought in many Nepalese. So other Kshetri, Baun, Nepali, Rai, etc., they were brought in.
Okay.
And they were made to work under the landlords.
That's okay.
And whatever the cultivation, out of the cultivation, they cultivated like forest land. Sikkim was a thick forest, I was told. So this forest, they just chop it up, cut it,
Okay.
and then put fire. And then the forest cultivation, and the land was very fertile, and the harvest was very good.
Okay.
So out of the harvest, 50% they used to give to the landlord, and 50% by themselves. With that, the landlords used to get a lots of thing, and the cultivators also, they used to get something to eat.
Okay.
So that's how the Limbus and other Nepalese people, Sherpas, etc., they were brought to Sikkim by the British India.
Okay. So yeah, we're talking about like this. We have talked about Chongs and all, right? Yeah, so there is one treaty signed between the three communities, Bhutia, Lipcha, and Chong, right? Which is known as like Lomen Chongsum. So can you put a light on that, lah?
This Lomen Chongsum, this was Lomen Chongsum government actually.
Okay.
The treaty, before treaty, the Lomen Chongsum government was there.
Okay.
And this Lomen Chongsum government was actually introduced by the Hachinamka Najochiji only, from the first Chogyal travels. But it wasn't very popular. During the third king's time, Chogyal Chadam time, the Lomen Chongsum government became very popular.
Okay.
So during his time, the Lomen Chongsum means each community, there were only 3 communities. Lepcha, Bhutia, and the Chong. Chong who came from with a Rashi Namka Jimi and then Ngata Sembachum Katurizin Chimbo. They are also from Tibet, you know.
Okay,
So they came with them. And then after the second king's marriage, that Chong. So Bhutia, Lepcha, and Limbu, only 3 communities were here. And all of them were Buddhist already.
Okay.
Now Buddhist, so the Lepcha used to elect 12 representatives. They were called Tasachuni. Tasachuni. Chuni means 12.
Okay.
Tasa. Then Bhotia used to select 12.
Okay.
And they were called Zongpan Chuni. And Limbu Chong used to select 12.
Okay.
They are called Suba Chuni.
Okay.
Suba. 12 each. Total 36. And the Yukting Arup was the prime minister
Okay.
during Chadanagal's time. And the very popular government. Because Arup himself, Arup was from Lepcha community and he was a monk.
Okay.
And then I think he was a very special person. He knew how to run the government and then introduce very good things.
Okay.
So today Sikkim enjoys that income tax. Even
Relief.
becoming part of India, Sikkim subject doesn't pay the income tax, you know.
Really?
And that policy was introduced by the Laman Chongsum government,
Okay.
which was not a matter of joke. And that time the capital was in Rabdenchi. And from Rabdenchi, if you track down above Gejing Bazaar, there's a place called Tingringang. At Tingringang, today you find a shorten there. In that shorten, when I was a child, I saw it, and elderly people told me that the Sikkim parliament was there during Chadana's time. Later, because of the war only, the capital shifted from west to east, came to Tumlong. So that's how the Chotan was built there to keep as a remembrance, no? To the Chotan was built. It's called the Zamsha Chotan, you know, Zamsha. So that was the place where this income tax rule was made. And second rule was the many customary traditional rules were made there.
Okay.
And another rule they made was that like the king, you know, the king of Sikkim, in the past I don't know, but the present Chogyal, Ongchuk Namgyal,
Okay.
13 Chogyal, he had given many landed properties to different monasteries. He had given very good land. And it used to get a kut like
Good. Yeah.
900 or 1000 muris in a year
Okay.
from Dharamden to Pemyangchi Monastery. Similarly, I was told that he had given land to Kodang Monastery and Pensang Monastery and even to Enche Monastery. Like that, he had given land. But during Atup's, I think Yukting Arup's time, Laman Chongsum government, during that time, they made a rule that the people of Sikkim cannot take landed properties from the king.
Okay.
For the time being, for cultivation and to take the crops and the harvest, enjoy the harvest, they can take it.
Okay.
But the king's land cannot be,
Taken by the subject.
cannot be transferred to any other private individuals.
Okay.
At the same time, the king cannot take land from the
Others.
from the public.
Okay.
It's vice versa. And there's a ruler really. So when the Chogyal Ongchuk Namgyal gave that land to Pemyangchi, so the documents were not not transport.
Okay.
I hope it's still there, because during that time, the monk buddies asked me to take care of the administration. So I was looking after the administration, and I said that was the rule made during Arab's period, which was told by the senior monks. So I said, king has given, but we cannot transfer the land, because some of the monks were saying that now that we have become part of India, it should be transferred to the name of the Pemyangchi monastery. I said there's an old law, old rule, and old laws is respected, Article 371. So accordingly, we cannot transfer the land from king to our name, nor king can take our land. But there is one condition. There is that also passed by the Roman Johnson government. That is like in our families. Suppose my father gave birth to 3 sons, or say 2 sons, or 2 girls, like that. So we share the landed property, you know. Actually, as per the Sikkimese rule, the family, the share goes to the sons only. The daughters, if they are married out, they will not get share. That is a rule in between Bhutia and Lepcha. This is the rule, and the Chongs also follow the same rule. And this rule was also passed by the Lam Chongsun government. But now, say my father gave birth to 3 sons. Out of 3 sons, after marriage we got married. 3 sons. Lands were divided. My father's landed property was shared by 3 sons. Now, out of 3 sons, 2 sons gave birth to the children, son and a daughter. But 1 son could not give birth to son. No son. Now his land will go to the king. If the daughter is married out, she will not get it. But if she remains at home and son-in-law is brought in, then she gets a share. But then if there is a nisantan, no child at all, then that property cannot be enjoyed by the uncles, etc. It will go back to the palace, to the king. That's the rule. So,
so Yapo, like, would you like to talk about DPC? How the struggle you have gone through to build a school, and now you can also see like the product of DPC. I guess DPC, I'm pronouncing the right name, I guess.
yes,
Your school name, DPC, right?
yeah, DPC.
So that DPC have given like numerous good products, like one is also serving as a first minister in Sikkim government only this time. So would you like to tell like, the struggle you have been?
Yeah, DPC actually this was started by educated, unemployed youth, in 1980, under the leadership of Honorary Captain Ganju Lama, BCMM, who was my uncle, and we started that school, and then it was a school where we thought that we could provide free education to all the have-not children of Sikkim, particularly first the orphans and semi-orphans, and then other native people who could not go to good schools, or who could not go to the government schools. They can go, but then we find that the children who go to the school from their respective houses, they face a lot of problem, particularly Sikkim being a hilly terrain, so the distance-wise, to walk 2 kilometers uphill is a big problem, and also to walk across the small river in summer, it becomes a big river. Again, that's a problem. the children cannot go to attend the class every day. So because of rainfall, etc., and so the distance problem. And at the same time, because of the family condition, economic condition, children don't get proper time to study. So the DPCA, we said that it will be a residential school, but should be given the education free of cost, which was a big problem. However, we managed it, and then we worked very hard, and it produced quite a lot of good, educated people. I had many children from Jongu also, Opera and Lord Jongu, who studied there way back in 1980s, 90s. But that time, the school was only up to class 8, and then children came and studied up to 8, and after that, they became dropout. So, however, I heard that today these children have become the panchayat members, and they are doing very good in the society. And after that, when the school upgraded to class 10, then we started teaching them up to class 10. And so like that, Mr. Pinsu Namgyal, he was a school captain in DPCA. Now he is a forest minister in the government. And apart from that, Mr. Nematashi and Mr. Bimbadur, many of them, some of them are teachers, some of them are professors, and they are doing very well. Like Yajin, Bimbadur, they were a professor in Delhi University, both in North and South Delhi. For instance, Bimbadur, when he was in Delhi, South Delhi, as a professor, he was selected among the professors to lead a team, one delegation team from India to China, to talk about the relations between India and Chinese. So our ex-student was a leader in that. So like that, Nematashi, who is working in the rural work department, he is a recipient of the many awards, and he visited many foreign countries to lead Sikkim and other national level also. So Mr. Bhimang, he studied DPCA from class 1, and from class 1 itself, from kindergarten only, because he was a orphan. He lost his father when he was 4 years of age, and his mother passed away, and he attained 6 years of age. And from 6 years age, we took care of him, got educated. Now today he is a health minister, I think. Health minister and area MLA of the Yangthang constituency of that area, our DPCA area only. And before also he was a minister. Now this is the second term he is running as a minister. And like that, there are many ex-students who are working in the village level as a panchayat society. They are society of good workers.
So
that way I really enjoyed by working in DPCA.
So I have got some old photographs, where you were like serving as a ATC to Chogyal. So could you please tell like this, looking at this picture, what you remember, This picture. I guess you are here.
Yes.
Do you remember anything about this here?
I didn't see this photo. I didn't see this photo before.
Okay.
Chogyal, and who could be there?
This handsome guy must be you.
Yes, it's me.
Liam.
Who is the second next to?
This one, Yapo?
Hmm.
I don't know, Yapo. I thought you.
From where you got this photo?
Anum Vicky.
Huh?
There is a guy, Anum Vicky. Vicky Paljar.
Tiki Parjo, okay. And this side, who is that?
This one, la?
No.
Yeah.
Indian dress, like.
No,
This is not Indian dress.
yeah, this is Indian dress, but the face
This is
shown.
not Sinogi.
No. Anything about this photograph, Yapo? There are some more, Yapo.
I'm seeing for the first time.
Okay. Okay, he have also seen me this one. Okay, I guess he told me this one is here.
Yes, yes.
Like, so, do you remember anything about this?
This is it's in Bhutan.
Mm-hmm.
We are proceeding to attend the coronation ceremony
Okay, of
of Chogyal,
okay,
the Bhutan king.
okay. So there is another one also, Yapo. Mm-hmm. This one, Yapo.
That's me.
Like,
Where it is?
I don't know where it is, but I got the photo. I thought you must know about this. Like,
Who are the people? Yeah, no.
this is you, I think.
I think so, yes. It's in Bhutan, or no?
I guess it's in Bhutan, I guess, by looking the structure of building and all.
But structure doesn't look like Bhutan also.
Okay. You were kind of young at that time.
It looks like in India,
Mm-hmm.
India Kiwi,
Okay.
Karmapa Institute, International, that institute.
Okay. Yeah, our bad. Like, we got three. We got to manage these three photos from Anum Wiki. So yeah, like, now at this age, okay, Yapo, how you see life?
Life, till 2022, I was very active, and I was active for the school DPC only,
Okay.
and the school used to be in my mind all the time, and but then it was disturbed by the Sikkim politics. The things which are supposed to take place is not taking place, is not happening, because I saw this in the Indian democracy. Whatever we have is a democracy, but democracy is by the people, for the people, it said. But whatever I was with Chogyal, and what the progress I saw and progress we made, that was not done. My time with Chogyal was very limited, from 271 to 75 only. 72, 73, 74, that one something. But whatever the progress I made in that time was today is not there after my life, except DPC. Rest all, the democracy is a corruption only. I find all corruption only. And today, even a good person go to join politics, they are taught about how to corrupt it. They become that only, nothing more. So after that, I don't enjoy at all this side. Otherwise, if I look at this other side, the Guru Rinpoche's prediction, Gyawamen Thagong Salang, when I look at this, is the best. Particularly, the Lotus Born Buddha had said that is a Bayul Damajong, no? Bayul. So, Lotus Born Buddha had selected 4 countries in the world. Out of 4 countries, Sikkim is the number 1, the best out of the 4. And this statement, Guru Rinpoche's statement, was confirmed by Chakta Rinpoche also. In Chakta Rinpoche, he is called as an Iron Chain Rinpoche, no? Chakta Rinpoche means. In Nepali is a Sangli Rinpoche, no? Sangli Rinpoche, Iron Chain Rinpoche. Now, it seems that Chakta Rinpoche gave birth, and he had taken birth as a human being only for Bail Damajong, according to his prediction. It's mentioned like that. So, the Chakta Rinpoche, before he passed away, he had written a short note and left it with his Khandu and the children. He said that Yumse Namla. Yumse Namla means mother and then children. Yumse Namla for them. So in which he had mentioned about his incarnations. So according to that, he was very holy, and he came to protect Sikkim, protect Bayul Damajong. He doesn't say Sikkim, but he talks about the Denjong, Damajong, Guru Bayul Damajong, from war, epidemics, and diseases. And he had also mentioned that the people who believed him and follow him, and they would get the Holy Land after their death.
Afterlife,
So that short one is a very precious one, which is written in Tibetan. Yes.
So you have this different name, Bayul Damajong, Mayalyang, and Denjong, Sikkim, Suhim. The differences between these, can you tell about this?
The Bayul Damajong, Denjong is a short of Damajong. And actually Damajong is also a abbreviated formula. Debu Pesum Sobejong. Damajong is the abbreviated form of Debu Pesum Sobejong. So actually, according to Lotus Born Buddha, is called the Debu Pesum Sobejong. Jong is a country or the plateau. Debu Pesum Soba means all the kinds available of all the kinds of fruits and fruit flowers. So the short form is Damajong or Denjong. Like Pema Lingpa is the full name of the place, but it's called Paling. Pema Lingpa, Pemaling, and Paling. So like that. Damajong, Devapesum Sobejong, Damajong, and Denjong. Now Sikkim is the what do you call, and the spoiled name of Suhim. Actual name is the Suhim. But Suhim, when the British started writing book, so they could not get the proper pronunciation. So instead of writing as a Suhim, they wrote it Sikkim. Or the interpreter who was interpreting about Sikkim to the British writer, he could not tell him the correct name, access to him. Actually, the name given to this country by the second queen of Denjong is Suim. And that same thing has been, Suim has been recorded as a Sikkim.
Okay. Okay, Apo. Lastly, what message would you like to resonate to the audience who is watching this episode?
Isla,
What message you want to give to the younger ones and like those who are watching this episode?
oh, for the younger one, they should feel very happy to be born in this Bible Damajong. They should not be carried away with the school education. Apart from school education, they should learn most of the things from their elderly generations. Because school education does not teach us or teach to anyone about their next life. School education does not say what will happen after the person's death. There's nothing, no answer, no. And people talk about hell and heaven. How can we expect so and so, Mr. So and so, go to hell and will not go to heaven? What is the proof? How you will decide that? But then in the school education, there are words hell and heaven. But education does not say how it reach to heaven and not to hell, or how to avoid hell and go to heaven. And the middle is where. And the school education talks only about the world, only world. They don't consider about the other sentient beings.
Okay, Apo. Thank you for being in our podcast. Thank you for sharing your experiences, your year-long this knowledge to us. This will help our generation to relate with Sikkim and love Sikkim. So, thank you for being our podcast. Tuchila.
Yes, thank you, La, for coming and bringing all these equipments and taking trouble to tape my talk, which is not, I think, very useful for the younger generation or for others. However, whatever little bit I knew, I have shared it with you, La.
Thank you, Ipo. It's like 2 hours